So here's our project for today. Let me show you how we did it. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, DIY Rick 66. From time to time I show you different installs and product reviews. This is going to be on a product review and install. This is from NashFuel. I purchased this kit myself. It's going to convert my regular gas generator to a dual fuel system, which is going to be able to use these propane tanks, which are 15 pounds, a little bit easier to hook up. The gas generator I have is actually a storm responder with a Briggs and Stratton carburetor on it. And we're going to convert this to dual fuel, so it's going to run off of these propane bottles and also off of gas. The problem is sometimes gas, if it's left in there a long time, even using stabilizers and things like that in your gas, it gums up your carburetor. And it's a pain in the neck to take it all apart, especially with a storm coming or something. And you have to get the right seal kit for the floats and for the jets and everything else, and that gets to be a pain in the neck. And then sometimes I don't like having to keep the gas on storage all the time on hand. You know, if you do run out of propane, you can go back to the gas, so it makes it dual fuel. Nash supplies this kit here. It comes with a regulator. It's a larger regulator. It's going to be mounted somewhere on the frame of the generator. Comes with two hoses. One that's going to feed in from your bottle and one's going to feed into the carburetor. It also has another regulator that'll come right off of your bottle itself. And it's got a bracket and a VENTURI adapter here that goes in between the carburetor and the air box on the generator. We'll take this all apart. Looks like it's pretty self-explanatory. It has some longer rods here to bring the carburetor out a little bit further to allow for that VENTURI tube that's going to go in between. That's going to feed the gas in. Right there is the generator that I have. And like I said, here's the air box right here. I'm going to take those screws out, pull it out. The carburetor is going to be right there, and hopefully I can show that. I've gone ahead and put the gas regulator together here. You see I've got Teflon on there. It's going to be 3 wraps of everything. That goes into your gas bottle. So we're all set up there. It's going to go on the other end of the hose. Here's the heavier black hose put together with the adapters in. So you can see those right there. Here's the VENTURI plate. That's been put together. Got my hose clamps all ready to go. And if you read on the VENTURI plate here, it's got an arrow. I don't know if you can see it right there. But it says carb side. So you're going to put that arrow going into the carb. Like this. So the regulator is put together. Teflon there. I've got the mounting hanger blocks right there. And we'll go ahead and put the unloader valve in right here. Here's the unloader valve all put together. You don't need any Teflon on this side. Just 3 wraps on everything else if you want to. Now this is going to be on the suction side of the gas, or what I've been told is you're going to get an air fuel mixture coming through here, and that's how you regulate this, by adjusting it in and adjusting it out. You're going to want to just start 1 thread in there to start with until we get the startup going. So this will go on the bottom of the regulator like this, depending on what direction you want it and how you're going to mount it. So that won't be determined until I figure out which way I got my plate going in there. So let's go ahead and take off the breather box here, off the generator. It's got 2 screws. Pull the breather box off. Set that aside. It's all going back together after we're done. Take the filter off. So that's basically the breather box cover. So now this is actual breather box that regulates the air mixture coming in when you're running regular carbureted fuel mixture. So I got to take these off right here. All right, so I decided to get a ratchet wrench. It's a 10mm socket. Hands are getting a little bit banged up as I get older here, so work smarter than harder. And just take those and remove those nuts there. And then you got to remove your choke knob off the top here. Pulls right out like that without smashing your finger. And then the box should come right off. And there you go. So here's the carburetor. You already have a gasket on this side here. You need a gasket up against that. So you can see the studs here aren't going to be long enough. So in the kit, they supply you with longer studs that go right on there. So I've got to pull these out with a star tool, and then we'll thread in some other studs that they supplied in the kit. So these are the studs that they supplied in the kit. Look like just pieces of all thread that must be threaded to the threads that are going in there. Sure hope so. So what you're going to want to do is remove these one at a time. You don't want to loosen them both up. Keep one tight, and then you can thread the one in, and then as that catches, then you can go ahead and loosen this one up on the left hand side or right side, whatever you want to do. Okay, let's remove these. Now you could probably use a pair of vice grips or a pair of channel locks or something, pliers if you want to. You might not be using these anymore, but if you want to save them, that's the way to do it. Now take one of these studs and thread it in. Make sure the threads are compatible. Okay, quick update from the manufacturer. The studs that I was using wasn't compatible with my generator. So he has included these 6mm barrel nuts, and they have an Allen slot right on the top there. So it's got to go through the breather box here, and that's going to make up the difference on the studs and the VENTURI insert. So there's two of them included in the kit. I missed it. For some reason I thought they were just like some kind of a sleeve, but they're not. So I have to drill this out. You know how to use a drill, so you're just going to want to drill those a little bit larger than the barrel nuts so they go right through there. Okay, you can see I'm drilling this out. And that'll let that barrel nut slip right through there. I drilled on the gasket side so I wouldn't tear it up. Okay, so we had a slight change. As I showed you those barrels, the studs that were included in the kit weren't compatible with my on the Briggs and Stratton motor. So these weren't going to work. So that's what these barrel nuts are for, is they're going to extend basically the distance there between the insert and the breather box. So you see it almost comes flush with the end of the VENTURI. The way the manufacturer's done this is it's going to go through the breather box and tighten into here and tighten the VENTURI back on there. So I've already got the VENTURI on there on my hose. I put the gasket on there. The manufacturer said this material here will compress a little bit, which will seal up for you. But I'm anal, so I went ahead and I put that on there instead. So this is supposed to line up like this, and you're supposed to take these little barrel nuts that we talked about, and you thread them onto your studs like so. Get it started, then take your Allen wrench and start on like that. Maybe just get one caught, and then work on the other side. So it seems to be catching the other side of the stud, and my VENTURI's lined up. And we'll just go ahead and snug it up. So it's pretty close to factory as it was. And I went ahead and put the choke handle back on, and it looks like it's going to be fully able to choke. So that means that In the event you don't want to use your gas bottle anymore, your propane, you can switch over to your regular gas by turning your valve back on and feeding gas into this and just changing over to regular liquid gas, gasoline, and you'll be good to go. Keep in mind, it's just a breather box, so you're not getting any gasoline or anything like that. We're going to go ahead and install our filter back in, like so. Put the factory breather box cover back on. Straight screwdriver. And honestly, you really can't tell that you've done anything with it. Looks like a professional install. Now the proof's in the pudding when we go ahead and fire it up and see if we can get it run. Now I don't know about you all, but I think that looks pretty decent. That's it, there's your labeling there, run, choke. And see if that affects anything. If we have to keep it in any type of position, I'm gonna have to dabble with it. It did move the location of where it went through at the top. You can see right there, but I've seen other kits where you gotta notch this. This one you don't, because it's out far enough that it's not gonna interfere. Let's move to the other side. I mounted it right there. It's nice and stiffened up. These are nice mounting brackets that they supply. And I don't know why I put thread on there, but you don't have to. Like I said, this is low pressure, so it's not gonna hurt you to have little leaks here and there. Like I said, we're just gonna start this just the first thread. And as we fire it up, we'll adjust our enrichment of air to propane. Let you see from the side here how I have it mounted. Hopefully you can see in there. Okay, and just in case I have any naysayers, my hose is long enough to go back from my valve to my breather. So just that difference of that VENTURI, my hose was long enough that it went inside. Okay, hopefully you can see all this. I'll go on ahead and install the regulator that comes off of the gas tank here. I put on the hose, the inlet hose, that goes into this regulator here, and then we have our adjustment knob here. So let's go ahead and turn this on. Let's go ahead and turn on our generator. I'm going to leave this in the fully choked position. Now there's a little button on the back of this regulator here. It's almost like a primer bulb. You want to go ahead and push this in. That'll get some gas into the carburetor before you crank it. Run that down a full turn. Try another full turn. Let's try another full turn. Now once you get it running right, you're going to lock that lock nut down. Now that adjustment screw there will not move because it's locked in, so you should be ready to go every time you fire it up. So there's absolutely no gas in this tank right now. I hate trying to store my equipment with gas in it. Okay, just to simulate like it died or we had to change out a bottle, we obviously turned off our generator. So we'll put that on, and we're going to inject some more gas to the primer. Pretty much fires right back up again. Okay, so that time I noticed I did have to put the choke knob right back in the run position instead of the choke on each side. It's running good again. Alright, well hey, thanks a lot for watching, I appreciate it. Let Nash know that you saw this video on DIY Rick 66. Give us a like and a thumbs up. It lets YouTube know you like our videos. And definitely reach out to them and take a look at this kit or any other kits. Highly recommended. They're very highly professional and they will get back to you as soon as possible if you have any issues with your install or parts. Please share with your family and friends. Take care, everybody.